When you think about awful things happening, you expect violence. And this was so not violent, but so violent.
A 49-year-old woman collapses on a psychiatric emergency room floor. Surveillance video captures the moments when others decide to intervene or not, and their decisions have dire consequences.
She was a really beautiful person. In and out. She loved children. She loved them with a passion.
Esmond Green comes to New York City in 1995, hoping to find work that will allow her to send money home to her 6 children in Jamaica.
She was, by all accounts, heartbroken to be separated from her family for so many years.
I think maybe one of the reasons why she clung to other people's children, it is because she had left her 6 children in Jamaica, and being with other children filled that void.
Esmond finds a second home with the Jesus is Lord Ministries in Brooklyn and works at daycare centers in the area.
She was very good in communication with children. She'd be out as a teacher, a counselor, whatever, and she'd always do a good job.
But Esmond also has to contend with her own demons. She has psychological problems, at times showing dangerous signs of agitation and psychosis. In June 2008, Esmond loses her job and is evicted from her apartment. In the early hours of June 18th, she breaks.
Everything just changed. She changed from one personality into the next, just agitated.
Esmond Green is out of control, and Pastor Marilyn Johnson calls 911. Emergency medical technicians arrive. Esmond is admitted involuntarily to the psychiatric emergency room of the Kings County Hospital Center in Brooklyn.
One thing about the psychiatric emergency room, it's not like an ordinary emergency room. Once you're taken in, they won't let you out without permission from a doctor. So if something's going wrong in there, you're a prisoner and you're totally at the mercy of the hospital staff.
It's June 19th, 5:32 in the morning. And Esmond Green, who's been waiting for a bed for nearly 24 hours, slumps to the floor. None of the patients move to help her.
Some people have asked, why didn't anybody who was in the waiting room do anything? But chances are they were all medicated and out of it.
Esmond lies unattended for 20 minutes, and then at 5:52,
what happens to her is nothing, except for that a security guard comes by and sees her on the floor and doesn't do anything. Doesn't go near her, doesn't do anything that would indicate any concern about the well-being of this individual who has come to the hospital for treatment.
The security guard looks in and then apparently walks away. 10 minutes later, Esmond is in distress, kicking her legs and moving back and forth. Another 8 minutes go by, and then
a security guard wheels himself in on a chair, rounds the corner of the wall, looks at her, and wheels himself right back out. He couldn't be bothered to get up. He didn't go over to her. And once again, nothing was done. Nothing was done.
At 6:33, a doctor ambles by, looks at Esmond, and apparently walks away. At 6:35, a nurse enters the room. She kicks Esmond to see if she responds.
You know, I'm no expert on medical practice, but common sense tells me that medical people ought to have some other tools at their disposal besides kicking somebody who's lying on the floor to find out whether they're dead.
After being admitted the day before, Esmond has been unattended by the hospital staff for nearly 24 hours. Now the nurse alerts others, who finally come to check on her. But Esmond is dead. According to the medical examiner, Esmond Green is killed by blood clots that can be caused by long periods of physical inactivity.
We have to keep asking ourselves, why didn't anybody help? And I'm not sure we'll ever know why. We may find out what went on in each individual's mind, the security guards, the nurses, the doctor. But, nobody should check their conscience at the door.
The hospital's also been accused of falsifying Green's medical records. They record that at 6 a.m., Esmond got up and went to the bathroom, and that at 6:20, she was sitting quietly in the waiting room. But the camera doesn't lie. It bears witness to what was really happening and how the silent decisions not to act may have led to Esmond Green's death. Since the incident, 7 employees have been fired or suspended. In a press release, the New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation, which oversees Kings County Hospital, admits that they, quote, failed Esmond Green. Esmond's family also sues the New York Health and Hospitals Corporation for negligence and is awarded $2 million in a settlement in 2009. Esmond's death has prompted the hospital to institute changes to help prevent tragedies such as Esmond's from happening again. Staffing has been increased and waiting times have been significantly reduced.
Esmond Green's death was a needless death, but she didn't die in vain, because her death has sparked the reform of conditions at Kings County Hospital. And hopefully, as a result of her death, nobody will ever be treated this way.
We miss our spirit at the church. Something is missing. We really miss her.